Good afternoon, students. So in this video, I will be revising your 12th chemistry. So it will be 12th chemistry revision for you. So let's begin. I begin with solid states. So solid state, what are the things that you need to remember? There are two types of solid. First is called the crystalline solid. And second is called the amorphous solids. Crystalline solids are actually true solids. So they are true solids. Whereas amorphous solids are pseudo-solids. Pseudo-solids also called supercooled liquid, also called supercooled liquids. Now, crystalline solids have regular geometrical arrangement. Crystalline solids have regular crystal arrangement. They have regular arrangement of particles. They have fixed melting point. They have definite enthalpy of fusion. They are anisotropic. So very important point, they are anisotropic, meaning they have different physical properties along different direction. So that means they show cleavage property. Some of the examples of crystalline solids are NaCl, KCl, MgO, cesium chloride, ZnS, CF2, Na2O, etc. Now, amorphous solids, they do not have a regular geometrical arrangement of particles. They do not have a fixed melting point or definite enthalpy of fusion. They are isotropic. They are isotropic meaning is that they have same physical properties in different directions. That is same physical properties in different directions. Some of the examples of amorphous solids are polymer, polythene, polyvinyl chloride, Teflon, polyurethane, cellophane, fiberglass, etc. Some other examples of crystalline solid I am writing here. Some other crystalline solid examples like carbon dioxide solid, argon solid, neon solid, hydrogen solid, phosphorus solid, CCl4 solid, diamond, graphite, aluminum nitride, silicon carbide, silica, silicon, all metals, copper, zinc, iron, gold, silver, magnesium, aluminum, etc. So these are some of the examples of crystalline solid. So we have learned two different types of solids. Let's move forward. Now, types of crystalline solid. Types of crystalline solids. There are four different types of crystalline solid. First is called the ionic solids. Second is called the metallic solid. Third is called the molecular solids. And fourth is called the covalent or network solid. In ionic solid, the constituent particles are ions. The constituent particles are ions. Ions are of two different types. One is called the cation, another is called the anion. Cation have positive charge, anions have negative charge. They are held together by Coulombic force of attraction. By Coulombic force of attraction. They are hard, they are brittle, they are soluble in water, they are insoluble in organic solvent, they have high melting and boiling point, they are good conductor of electricity. Good conductor of electricity. Some of the examples of ionic solids are very, very important for you. NaCl, the common table salt, KCl, MgO, CaO, CaF2, Na2O, cesium chloride, etc. So these are the examples of ionic solids. Now coming to metallic solids, example are metals, copper, zinc, aluminum, iron, gold, silver, etc. Molecular solids are further three types: polar molecular solid, non-polar molecular solids, and hydrogen bonded molecular solids. So let me give you the example. Example of polar molecular solids are HCl, SO2. Non-polar are helium, hydrogen, phosphorus, iodine, CCl4, CO2 solid, also called dry ice. Hydrogen bonded, you can take example ice, ammonia, etc. In covalent or network solid, they have three-dimensional arrangement like diamond, which is regarded as the hardest known substance naturally occurring. Graphite, which is soft. They are the allotropes of carbon. Silicon, silicon carbide, silica, aluminum nitride. So these are all covalent or network solid with giant structure. Okay. Molecular solids, the polar molecular solid have dipole moment not equal to 0, whereas the non-polar have dipole moment equal to 0. Coming to crystal lattice, a regular three-dimensional arrangement of points in space. Points in space. A regular three-dimensional arrangements of points in space. The smallest part of crystal lattice is called unit cell. The smallest part of crystal lattice is called unit cell. So it is the smallest part of crystal lattice, which when repeated in all the direction, gives the entire crystal. So it is the smallest part of crystal lattice which when repeated in all the direction gives the entire crystal. If you see a unit cell, so edge lengths are A, B, C, edge angles are A, B, gamma, B, C, alpha, and C, A, beta. So A, B, C, edge length, alpha, beta, gamma, these are called unit cell parameters. These are called unit cell parameters. You need to remember this. Now, basically, there are two types of crystal. There are two types of unit cell. Types of unit cell. Types of unit cell. One is called the primitive unit cell. Another is called the centered unit cell. center unit cell. Primitive unit cells have atoms only at corner. Atoms present only at corners. Only at corners. One of the common example is simple cubic unit cell. Simple cubic unit cell. Center unit cell are further three types. One is called the BCC, another is called the FCC, also called CCP, and the last is ECC. But BCC is body center cubic unit cell. FCC is face center cubic unit cell or cubic closed pack. ECC is end center cubic unit cell. So if you see a unit cell, these are the corners. This is simple cubic unit cell. The contribution of atom at corner is 1/8. So number of atoms present in a unit cell. This can be determined using the formula n corner by 8, n faces by 2, n edge by 4, and n body by 1. Note down this formula. This is very, very important, student. This is very, very important. Keep this in mind. So in simple cubic, let's find the number of atoms present in a simple cubic unit cell. So it is 8/8 because only at corner the atoms are present and not anywhere else. Okay. So it is 1. So one atom present in a simple cubic unit cell. Now let's see the number of atoms present in BCC. So let me draw the structure of BCC. So this is the body atom, and these are the corner atoms. So formula we will put. So number of atom present in a BCC unit cell is equal to 8/8 plus there is no atom at face by 2. There is no atom at edge 0/4, and there is one atom at body. So it is 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1. That is 2 atoms per unit cell. 2 atoms per unit cell. So there are 2 atoms per unit cell in a BCC unit cell. Now let's see FCC. How many atoms are present in FCC unit cell? So atoms are present at corners. And faces. So number of atoms present in a FCC unit cell is equal to 8/8 because there are 8 corners, atoms are present. Face is 6/2. There are no atoms at edges 0/4, and there are no atoms at body 0/1. So this way it comes 1 plus 3. So there are 4 atoms per unit cell. 4 atoms per unit cell. Similarly, in ECC, there are atoms at corners. There are atoms present at corners. And two of the faces. So number of atoms present in ECC unit cell is equal to 8 corners, 8 upon 8, face 2 by 2, and rest positions are 0. So it is 1 plus 1, that is 2 atoms per unit cell. 2 atoms per unit cell. Now I will give you a trick, which if you remember, that will be really helpful. Sub iron hat 1242. So simple cubic, 1 atom per unit cell, body center 2 atom, face center 4 atom, end center. So you can remember S for simple cubic and B for BCC, F for FCC, and E for ECC. Now keep also in mind S for single, single means 1, B by means 2, F means 4, and end means any object has 2 ends. So this is the trick. Sub iron have parasocialis. So this will help you solve one question in board and competitive exam all. So keep this in mind. Now, how to find the density of a unit cell? So density of a unit cell can be found by this formula. Density is equal to Z into molar mass by Avogadro number. This will give you the mass of one single unit upon volume of the unit cell. So this formula will help you solve for density. So keep this in mind, student. This is very, very important formula. So density of a unit cell is Z into M. So now Z is 1 for simple cubic, Z is 2 for BCC, Z is 4 for FCC or CCP. So remember this. And for NaCl or cesium chloride, use Z equal to 4 and Z equal to 1. This will help you to solve the question based on density. So density is Z. Keep in mind that to get the density in gram per centimeter cube, you must use A in centimeter, because it is given in picometer. So 1 picometer is 10 to the power minus 10 meter centimeter. 1 angstrom is 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. 1 nanometer is 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. Keep this in mind, centimeter. So convert this in centimeter. Okay, and Z is unit cell content. So this formula will help you find out the unit cell density. Now coming to your, remember this, in simple cubic, nearest neighbor distance A is equal to D is equal to A. A is edge length. A is edge length. So D is nearest neighbor distance and A is edge length. Edge length. No. So here 2R equal to A, so R is equal to A by 2. Keep this in formula. So twice of radius, so radius equal to edge length by 2. Keep this in formula. And it's packing efficiency. So you must know what is the packing efficiency for this. Packing efficiency is Z unit cell content upon into 4 by 3 pi r cube upon A cube volume into 100. So this will give you the packing efficiency. Putting Z equal to 1, you can find out the packing efficiency. So packing efficiency here will come 1 into 4 by 3 pi r cube upon AQ is 2R whole cube into 100. So if you solve this, 4 by 3 pi r cube into 8 r cube into 100, so it will come 4 to r cube 5 by 6 into 100. Pi is 3.14 into 100 by 6. So that is 314 by 6. So it will come 52.36. So almost is equal to 52.4%. So this is the packing efficiency in case of simple cubic. And the unoccupied space you have to subtract this value from 100. So 100% minus 52.4%, and that will be equal to 47.6%. So this will be the unoccupied space in simple qubit. Similarly, you can do for BCC. The nearest neighbor is equal to √3/2 into edge length. And if vacuum efficiency is equal to 68%, unoccupied spaces is equal to 32%, and you can use Z equal to 2 here to find the vacuum efficiency. Keep this in mind. For FCC, D is equal to A by √2, and you can write R is equal to A by 2√2. Here R is equal to √3/4A. So keep this all formula in mind, and this will help you. So here Z is equal to 4 you take, and if you find out the vacuum efficiency, it will be 74%. Unoccupied space will be 26%. So keep this in mind, student. This is very, very important. Now, suppose you have total number of spheres Bn, and tetrahedral void will be equal to 2n, octahedral void will be equal to n. So keep this in mind. This is also very important. Total number of sphere Bn, then tetrahedral voids are double the number 2n, and octahedral voids are n. Formula of compounds of a compound and number of words filled. So formula of compounds and number of words filled. So for ionic solids, you know that ionic solids are made up of ions. Ions are of two types. One is called the cation and another is called the anion. If the cation are small enough, if they are relatively small, they will occupy tetrahedral void. If they are relatively large, they will occupy the octahedral void. And anion will occupy the closed packed structure. They will form the closed packed structure. Like if you have a solid, compound is formed. So like a compound is formed by two elements, X and Y. Atoms of the element Y as anions make CCP, and those of the element Y as cations occupy all the octahedral voids. What is the formula of the compound? What is the formula of the compound? Formula of the compound. Now, see how to solve this type of question. The compound is formed by two elements. What are the elements? X and Y. Atoms of Y are anions. So Y are anions. It is forming the CCP structure. So let this number be n. And those of the element Y, those of the element X, Cation is X, not Y. Cation is X. So X is cation, and it makes up all the octahedral word, all the octahedral word. That means the number of octahedral word will also be N. So X and Y, and cation is written first. So X and Y both are N. Therefore, the formula of the compound will be XY. So XY will be the answer because both have same number. So XY will be the answer. Atoms of elements B form CCP lattice, and those of the element A occupy 2/3 of the tetrahedral void. What is the formula of the compound? Formula of the compound form. So let's see. Atoms of element B form CCP. So B is forming CCP. So it will be N. And those of the element A is occupying how much? It is occupying tetrahedral word, and it is 2/3 occupying 2/3. So it will become 2/3 into 2N, because tetrahedral words are double the number. Now how you will solve? You will write A 4/3N B N. So you just have to simplify this. So multiply with 3 both sides. So it will become A4 N B Bn. So cancel N and also, so it will become A4 B3. So this will be the answer. I hope you understood, student. Now they are asking some coordination number questions related. Coordination number. It is the number of nearest neighbor of a particle. Neighbor of a particle. So it is the number of nearest neighbor of particle. Keep in mind that if one dimensional coordination number is 2. One dimension coordination number is 2. Two dimension coordination number. Two-dimension coordination number. In case of square close packing, it is coordination number is 4. In case of hexagonal close packing, coordination number is 6. And three-dimensional coordination number, 3D coordination number. In case of CCP, also coordination number is 12. In case of HCP, also coordination number is 12. In CCP, you have to remember the example: copper, silver. These are the metal. Copper, silver, and example. And in case of SCP, remember the metal magnesium, zinc. So these are the metal which actually form the SCP structure, and CCP structure is formed by copper. And there are other metals also which you can see D block. They have given this, so you have to remember. So one dimensional coordination number is 2. Two-dimensional coordination number is in simple square close packing. Coordination number is 4, and in SCP it is 6. And in three-dimensional coordination number is 12. 12 is 2. So what is the range of coordination number? The range of coordination number is 2 to 12. You cannot have a coordination number 1. You cannot have more than 12. So keep this in mind. Like IIT question was asked like this: what is the coordination number of copper? So coordination copper number is 12. So it forms the CCP closed structures. Coordination number is 12. Now, some more important coordination number questions they have asked in exams. So NaCl coordination number is 6:6, meaning that one sodium ion is surrounded by 6 chloride ion, and one chloride ion is surrounded by 6 sodium ion. Similarly, KCl is also 6:6, MgO is also 6:6, cesium chloride is 8:8, ZnS is 4:4, calcium fluoride, the fluoride structure is 8:4, Na2O, sodium oxide is 4:8, the anti-fluoride structure. So these are the coordination numbers that you need to remember, student. These are very, very important for your exam, for all the exam like NEET, IIT, MSET, BITSET, for your board exam. 12th board exam also they can ask 1 mark question. Don't expect 4 mark question. 1 question only. Let me discuss some crystal defects. Crystal defects. These are irregularities in the arrangement of crystals. There are 2 types of crystal defect. One is called the point defect. Point defect. Another is called the line defect. We don't have to read line defect. So we will focus our attention on point defects. So let's see. Point defects. These are irregularities or deviation around a point or an atom. Okay, so there are 3 types of point defects that you have to remember. Stoichiometric defect, impurity defects, and non-stoichiometric defect. Non-stoichiometric. So these are the defects. Stoichiometric defects are also called thermodynamic defects. Stoichiometric defects are also called thermodynamic defect. Thermodynamic defect or intrinsic defect. Intrinsic defect. So there are 2 types of stoichiometric defect. One is called the vacancy defect. Another is called the interstitial defect. Interstitial defect. So in vacancy defect, particles are missing, so the density decreases. In interstitial, particles add up, so density increases. Impurity defect, one example is when molten NaCl is mixed with SrCl2. Another example is when cadmium chloride is mixed with AgCl, silver chloride. Non-stoichiometric defects are of 2 types. One is called the metal excess defect. Metal excess defect. And another is called the metal deficiency defect. Metal deficiency defects. Example of metal deficiency defect is Fe 0.930, Fe 0.960, etc. So these are the example of metal deficiency defect where some of the Fe2 plus ions are missing, and that is compensated by having Fe3 plus ions. Compensates. So these are the defects that you have to remember. Most important defect coming up, student. That defect is defect shown by ionic solid. Defect shown by ionic solids. So this is very, very important for your exam. One is called the Frankel defect. Frankel defects. Another is called the Schottky defect. Schottky defect. So this is actually a dislocation defect, Frankel defect. So this is a dislocation defect where there is no change in density, no change. The particle moves from the lattice side and moves into the interstitial side. So there is no change in the density, but in Schottky defect, density changes, density decreases because there is a vacancy defect. It's actually a vacancy defect. Vacancy defect, equal numbers of cations and anions are missing. Equal number of cations and anions are missing. Cations and anions are missing to maintain electrical neutrality. Examples are NaCl, KCl, cesium chloride. And AgBr is unique because it shows both types of defect. AgBr is unique because it shows both types of defect, Schottky defect as well as Frankel defect as well as Schottky defect. So AgBr, AgCl, AgI, ZNS. So these are the defects. These are shown by such ionic solid where the cation is small. So Ag plus, Zn plus, these are small cations. Small cations. So These are the difference. This is a dislocation defect. There is a no change in density, but here density decreases because part vacancy has been created because equal number of cations and anions are missing to maintain electrical neutrality. And these are shown by those ionic compound. Frankel defect is shown by those ionic compound where the cation size is small, But Schottky defect is shown by those ionic compound where the size of the cation and anion are identical, almost identical. So keep this in mind, student. And AGBR is unique. Why AGBR is unique? That you all know, because it shows both type of defects. So both type of Schottky as well as Frankel. Now coming to impurity defect. Suppose if you have molten NaCl and you are mixing SrCl2. So what happens? Some of the Na plus ions are missing. And this is compensated by Sr2 plus. This is compensated by Sr2 plus. Suppose if you see the crystal like Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, Cl minus. Here is the missing cation, then Cl minus. Here is sodium ion. Here is sodium ion. Here is Cl minus. Here is missing. Here is Cl minus. Like that, it crystal is there. Okay, Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus. So what happens at one position? It is occupied by Sr2 plus, Sr2 plus. So this Sr2 plus comes, and this is the cation vacancy. This is the cation vacancy. So cation vacancy. So the number of cation vacancy is equal to number of Sr2 plus, and keep this in mind. So based on this question can be asked. So number of cation vacancies, it is equal to number of Sr2 plus ions. Based on that, some question can be asked in your entrance also, student. Very, very important. Similar example is for AgCl when it is doped with cadmium chloride. Some of the Ag plus ions are missing, and these are compensated by cadmium 2 plus ions. So this is all about impurity defect. Now coming to non-stoichiometric defects. Until now we have discussed the defect which was stoichiometry, but here large number of compounds, non-stoichiometric compounds, are known in inorganic compounds. So there are two types: metal excess . Under metal excess defect, we will discuss metal excess defect due to anionic vacancies, and due to presence of extra cation, at interstitial sites. And here is metal deficiency defect, which I have discussed now only. Metal deficiency defect. Example I will give, like iron Fe 0.930, Fe 0.960. So here some of the Fe2 plus ions are missing, and this is compensated by Fe3 plus ions. So these are called metal deficiency defect. Now coming to metal excess defect, there are two types: metal excess defect due to anionic vacancy. Some of the anionic sites are vacant, which is occupied by unpaired electron. So anionic vacancy occupied by unpaired electron is called F-center. So anionic vacancy occupied by unpaired electron is called F-center. Anionic vacancies occupied by unpaired electron. So in place of anion, the unpaired electron will come, and that is the cause of pink color of lithium chloride, yellow color of sodium chloride, and violet color of KCl. KCl has violet or lilac color. So remember this, student: sodium chloride has yellow color, Pink color for lithium chloride. Okay. Violet color for. So these are the colors that you need to remember. And due to presence of extra cation, this is the case of ZNO. ZNO is white. When it is heated, it forms Zn2 plus half O2 plus 2 electrons. So what happens? Some of the oxygen is eliminated, released. So it loses oxygen. So what happens? The crystal now has the formula Zn1 plus XO. So due to extra cations, that extra cations moves into the interstitial side and the electrons are in the neighboring side. So that is the cause of yellow color. That is the cause of yellow color also. That is the cause of yellow color also. So it is white generally, but on heating it becomes yellow. So these are the topics that are very important from solid state student. I have tried to give you the maximum. I hope you understood, student. This is Sandeep sir signing off. Do like and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching and all the very best for your upcoming exam.